Hi, I'm J.M. Brown, staff writer at the Santa Cruz Sentinel. This is Mitchell's Cove in Santa Cruz, one of 7 areas along the city's coastline that the City of Santa Cruz and Soquel Creek Water District are considering for an intake system on a desalination plant they'd like to build in the next couple of years. The two agencies hope to build a facility capable of transforming seawater into 2.5 million gallons of drinking water each day by removing the salt through a high-pressure process called reverse osmosis. The brine would then be redeposited in the bay after it's been diluted by treated wastewater. The proposal has water customers, scientists, and environmentalists concerned about the impacts on marine life, the high energy cost, and long-term financial burden. City residents will vote November 6th on whether they want a future say in approving the plant, which is estimated to cost at least $125 million. Meanwhile, water managers contend this project represents the most reliable new source of water for recharging Soquel Creek's overdrafted aquifers, halting its seawater intrusion, protecting Santa Cruz from drought, and restoring fish habitat in the San Lorenzo River and vital streams like Laguna Creek.
Yeah, well, the problem with the fisheries, of course, is that the historic way that we've taken water from these streams is not necessarily beneficial to fisheries. And the environmental mandate now is we have to do that. And that's pretty much a year-round phenomenon. When fish aren't in or out migrating, they're spawning and rearing. And so at no time of the year are we completely relieved of our responsibilities to maintain fisheries in a condition that doesn't threaten species that are in special status. So for Laguna, it means that from December through about June, we're releasing water for the in-migration and the out-migration of smolts. And it means that all during the summer season, we're releasing enough water that we can maintain wetted usable area down in the anadromy so that these fish can survive, can rear.
While the City of Santa Cruz needs to boost fish habitat and guard against drought, Soquel Creek Water District is pursuing desalination to reduce groundwater pumping.
We have monitoring wells, a network of over 75 monitoring wells right along the coast that allows us to monitor for total dissolved solids, chlorides, and water levels. And those wells are our early warning systems, and a couple of those already have saltwater intrusion. So it's just a matter of time that if the basin is not recharged to a level to hold back saltwater, then saltwater intrusion is only a matter of time. At this stage, it's only showing up at a couple of our monitoring wells, which are not used for drinking water. But if you create too large of a depression next to pumping wells, the saltwater can actually turn your production well into a saline well, and it's not suitable for drinking. And it takes many years to reverse that. And the only way to reverse it would be to essentially stop pumping and let fresh water build up enough head to push the saltwater back out.
The Santa Cruz City Council already granted voters the right to decide whether the desalination plant is built, but opponents of the project put Measure P on the November 6th ballot to ensure a future vote through a city charter change amendment.
Well, what I'm really hoping is that the ballot measure in November that would give voters the right to decide about desalination, that will inspire the City Council to look into alternatives, because there's a very distinct chance that voters are going to reject desalination. So what then? There needs to be a plan B in place. If there's no plan B in place, then we're literally high and dry if there's a drought. So we hope that the City Council will be inspired to take action, number one, on the water transfers between neighboring districts. They haven't put any money into that yet, and there's money that needs to be invested in order to bring that off. Number two, water neutral development. Our neighboring district is expecting to lower their water demand by 11% by 2030. Santa Cruz is expecting up to a 15% increase in water demand. That's really got to change. And then just basic conservation measures that other cities around the state and country are doing that we're not doing yet.
The 11% cut in demand for Soquel Creek customers would be only if water use returned to 2005 levels. Right now, demand is predicted to be essentially flat in 2030 compared to what was seen in 2010. In the Santa Cruz water service area, a 10% growth by 2030 is expected to increase use by around 25%. Proponents of studying desalination have formed their own group. They include former mayors and the county's former public health chief.
Hospitals need water, our infrastructure needs water. Obviously, if people value gardens and kind of the community park system, water is needed, and I'm hoping this will be a community-wide effort to make sure we have enough water. And a collaborative effort across the community and across groups instead of another thing to fight about.
While city voters are guaranteed a say about desalination, it's unclear how water users in Live Oak, Capitola, and other parts of the county will get to voice their opinion. County Supervisor John Leopold is working on that problem and believes a decision about desalination should come before a water expansion is granted for UC Santa Cruz and after negotiations over fish habitat are completed.
In the community that I represent, Live Oak, Carbonera, parts of Capitola, right now we have no voice in the system. There's over 36,000 people who have who receive water from the City of Santa Cruz Water District and have no representation in the management of the system. That's done by the City Council. Those folks live outside the city. It's clear from city representatives and the public that they're interested in having a voice. And the city has made both this council and then there's a ballot measure to get the city residents to weigh in on this big decision. Soquel Creek Water Board is looking to poll their customers, but we have these 36,000 plus people in the middle who have no say, and I'm working very hard to make sure that they have a chance to weigh in on this incredibly important infrastructure investment that we're making.